I know everybody was super excited and then super disappointed, but then kind of excited again about the Mueller report coming out this week. And I'm going to say what I said shortly before it was released. It really doesn't matter because there's better investigations happening right now. In fact, there were better investigations happening on that same day that the Mueller report came out. Here's what's happening while everybody's being distracted by the redacted Mueller report. Democrats on the House Financial Services Committee have subpoenaed 9 banks for any and all records related to any business that they have ever done with Donald Trump or the Trump Organization. 9 banks. Here they are. JP Morgan, Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Deutsche Bank, Royal Bank of Canada, and Toronto Dominion Bank. They are particularly interested in Deutsche Bank, who, according to reports from a few weeks ago, has actually been working with the committee to help turn over documents related to business dealings with Donald Trump. But the reason they're so interested in Deutsche Bank is because for the longest time, they were the only bank that was willing to actually loan money to Donald Trump. Back in the 90s, after he had bankruptcy after bankruptcy after bankruptcy after bankruptcy after bankruptcy after bankruptcy, I think that's all of them. There may have been 1 or 2 more. No bank wanted to give him money. Guy was a failure, constantly failing, bankruptcies all over the place. And Deutsche Bank came in and said, yeah, sure, what the hell, we'll give you some money. He also lied to them, allegedly, based on documents we've seen, about his net worth. And so they said, sure, we'll, over the next few years, give you $2 billion. And they did, and he got it. And the evidence suggests that he lied about his net worth to get that money, which would 100% be bank fraud, which is a prosecutable offense up there in the state of New York, where Donald Trump would not be able to pardon himself if he were to be convicted of this. And that's why the man is fighting tooth and nail to prevent any of these records from making it public. That's why he doesn't want his financial records out there. That's why he doesn't want his bank records out there. That's why he doesn't want his tax returns out there. Because one of those is not going to mesh up with the other one. I'm betting the tax returns are not going to match up to the bank records. Meaning, his tax returns are going to show he was worth this much, but he told the banks he was worth this much. That's fraud, and it's illegal, and people go to jail for it all the time. The President of the United States would be no exception. And that's why he wants to hide it, and that's one of the main reasons Democrats want to see it, because they can actually do something about it. Not only can they investigate it and get those documents, but they can then send it up to the prosecutors in New York. They don't have to go through impeachment. They could, and they probably would, which I do think would be a mistake, because you're never going to get the Senate to convict. I say send it all back to New York. Send it up to that wonderful AG they've got. She is doing phenomenal work. She is kicking ass and taking names, and she will have no problem taking his name too. But the other reason that they're subpoenaing these banks because they believe there is criminal activity is based on what Michael Cohen said during his congressional testimony. If Cohen was telling the truth, which Trump swears he wasn't, and he does have a history of lying to Congress, but if he was telling the truth, then yes, we have a very clear path towards bank fraud and prosecution after we find it. That's where we should be focusing if we choose to focus on investigations. Mueller is done. Mueller is over. Forget about it. Let it go. You really want an investigation to take down Donald Trump? Start paying attention to these tax returns and the bank records in those investigations, because those have a lot more promise and are a lot easier to prove than anything that Mueller was looking at. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.